Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. I'm Rashid Mahmood, one of the experts from Careers Consultancy. And in today's video, we will talk about the subclass 482 work visa of Australia. So first of all, I would like to explain what is this visa is all about. And I will start from here. It is like a subclass, or you can say it's a temporary skill shortage or TSS visa, which is based on employer sponsored, and it allows you to work in Australia for 2 to 4 years. And the visa lets the employer to hire a skilled foreign worker to fill a position when a suitable Australian skilled worker is not available to fill the position. So remember this line: it's only available when there is no Australian skilled worker is available for a particular position. And here are some confusions which is roaming around, and like Indo-Pak market, like many people saying it's just for the Australians, but it's clearly mentioned in Home Office website that employer can definitely bring a suitable worker if he or she doesn't have a proper skilled person. And the next thing is that this visa has a strict eligibility criteria, and your employer must also be approved as a standard business sponsor to be able to nominate you for the position. Recently, the Australian government has increased the income threshold of the TSS visa to 73,150 Australian dollars, and the effection of this changings have been started from 1st of July 2024. And again, I would say this visa lets you stay, work and study in the country for a maximum of 4 years. So if we talk about the Australian TSS 482 visa streams, then I would say like subclass 482 has a below stream that decide your years of stay in Australia. Well, the first stream is called a short-term stream, and under this stream, stay in Australia for up to 2 to 4 years, and the job under this stream are listed in STCOL, like a short-term skilled occupation list, and you can check this list on Home Office website. And the second stream is medium-term stream, and under this stream the jobs are listed in MLTSSL, like a medium and long term strategic skills list, and you can stay in the country for up to 4 years. And the third is like a labor agreement stream, and under this stream the workers are nominated by the employers with labor agreement, and you can stay up to maximum of 4 years under this stream. If we go a bit deeper in this visa, I will let you know like the 5 things you need to know about this visa. The first is age limit. A TSS visa doesn't have any age limit to apply. And the second, if we talk about the approval rate of this TSS 482 visa is almost 98%, and this ratio is not given by myself or any private person. It's given by the Home Office. The cost the cost is different in different scenarios. Here I'm only talking about the visa applying fees, and if I talk about the visa applying fees is like from 1330 to 2770 Australian dollars in different streams. And if we talk about the processing time, it can take 8 days to 5 months of this application. And if we talk about the stay, a TSS visa lets one to stay in Australia up to maximum 4 years. And in these days there is huge conflict between the understanding of a student visa and a government of Australia. Why I'm saying conflict? Because I've seen many of files which are quite reasonable, and again, I'm not a decision maker, but if I would see these files, I would love to give them a visa, but they're definitely having their own planning. I'm talking about the Australian government. So when you cannot get a benefit from student visa, I would love to tell you a few benefits for this 482 temporary skill shortage visa. Stay in Australia for up to 4 years with a temporary skill shortage visa. You can work, stay, or even study in Australia up to 4 years. Under the subclass 482, you can bring your family through the subsequent entrance stream. You can stay longer in Australia if your employer once again nominates you for the visa, or you can also apply for a PR if your employer is eligible to sponsor you for a permanent residence through the employer nomination scheme, which is subclass 186. And here I would love to tell you what is the eligibility of Australian TSS visa. The first, get nomination from an eligible Australian employer, process all the relevant skills for the job, and you have to fulfill the English language requirements, get a health insurance cover, meet the character and health requirements. And the exact requirement for this TSS visa: you must be nominated by an approved employer. You must have to a proper approval from a standard business sponsor, and your skill and occupation must be relevant to the Australian and New Zealand standard qualification of the occupations, which is under the code of ANZ SCO. You must demonstrate your proficiency in English by submitting your IELTS or PT test results, and in some cases you are not required by the IELTS or PT. You must have health insurance, as I explained earlier, and all things you have to be careful, and you have to look into it when you applying for this subclass, which is 482. And if I go a bit more depth, I would love to say that TSS visa enables employer to address labor shortage by hiring skilled workers where they cannot find again an appropriate skill in Australian. It definitely facilitate employment of foreign workers to address temporary skill shortage, and while ensuring that Australian workers get priority, TSS visa holders can work in Australia in their nominated occupation, and they may have a pathway to a permanent residence. And if you want to know like who can sponsor you, I'll give you a little hints who can sponsor you for this 482 class. Like I'm talking about the employer, what eligibilities the employer must have to sponsor anyone. Like employers sponsoring workers for TSS 482 visa must pay a training contribution charge, like it known as the Skilling Australian Fund Levy, and a business with turnover of less than 10 million per year will be required to make, and an upfront annual payment for each employee on a TSS 482 visa is almost 1200 Australian dollars, and the business with turnover of 10 million or more per year will be required to make, and an upfront annual payment of each employee on a TSS 482 visa is about 1800, and it's vary in the different classes. These are all the effects which affect your application, and the following all instrument specifying the occupations in force at the time the nomination application is made provides the relevant in applicability conditions that nominated occupation may be subject to.